Yeah, it's just the sweet spot. I think it's sticky in the sheets, I'll make the sheets hot. Yeah, it's the sweet spot. I give it everything you need to kiss it shot. Yeah.
When Justin Bieber dedicated his performance to Haley and Jack, pop culture didn't just get excited, it got investigative. Because for Selena Gomez, this wasn't simply another celebrity moment. It felt like a headline with an emotional backstory attached. And by the time you reach the end of this, you'll understand why fans think it matters and what it could mean even if Selena never reacts publicly. Now let's unpack what happened, why people are connecting dots, and what this could signal for Selena Gomez's place in the conversation, whether she wants to be or not. What fans think Justin meant by Haley and Jack. At the center of the buzz is the idea that Justin didn't just perform, he dedicated. Dedications in pop music aren't random. They're usually meant to communicate something personal, even if the details stay vague. So when Justin dedicated a performance to Haley, fans immediately understood the emotional language: gratitude, love, and inspiration. Haley isn't just his wife in the public, she's also someone he's repeatedly credited as a stabilizing force during major chapters of his life. But then came the second name, Jack. That's where speculation started, because the meaning of a dedication changes depending on whether it's someone closely known, a symbolic reference, or an inside story only a few people understand. Fans love turning vague pop moments into meaning. Some think Jack could represent a person important to Justin's life. Others interpret it as a deeper symbol, something connected to a song's emotional themes, a memory, or a fresh chapter in his mindset. Either way, the vibe was clear. This wasn't a performance that belonged only to the stage. It felt like Justin was speaking directly from a place that isn't fully explainable to the public. And the internet noticed. Why this instantly raised questions about Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber aren't just two famous people who once crossed paths. Their story became part of pop culture history, and not in a quiet way. For years, fans treated their relationship like a real-time drama unfold. Romantic, complicated, public, and emotional. So when Justin puts extra meaning into a public performance today, fans don't just interpret it as love for Haley. They also interpret it as emotional positioning. That's the key reason Selena Gomez comes into the conversation automatically. Justin is not just moving forward, he's visibly celebrating his present. And Selena's name lives in the background of that present, whether she is connected to it or not. It's not always fair, but it's how celebrity fandom works. Fans remember past timelines, and then they look at new gestures and ask whether old emotions are resurfacing. When you combine Justin's history with Selena, public dedication culture, and social media's ability to blow up a small moment into a giant narrative, you get a storm of speculation. What it could mean for Selena emotionally. Let's be honest. Even if Selena has no interest in Justin's personal life, a dedication like this can still feel loaded. Because for Selena, people have spent years framing her emotions through other people's actions. That means even if she's emotionally moved on, she may still be forced to respond in the only way fans know how, by reading into things. So what could this mean for Selena on a human level? It could feel like closure or like a reminder. Some people experience the past as something healed. Others experience it as something that still occasionally taps the surface. A dedication to a new chapter of someone's life can land differently depending on where you are emotionally. For Selena, it's possible this type of moment reminds fans that Justin's world has moved into a different phase, one she isn't a part of anymore. That doesn't mean she's hurt. It just means it's a reminder. It could trigger the comparison narrative fans love. Celebrity fandom often turns everything into a scoreboard. Not in a fair way, just in a loud way. So Selena might get pulled into comparison, even if she's done nothing to invite it. Fans might claim the dedication signals something about who mattered more, who healed, who moved on better, or who still has unresolved feelings. Selena has spoken publicly before about focusing on her own happiness and personal growth, which suggests she likely doesn't want to live inside that scoreboard. But the internet will still try. It could reinforce that Justin is publicly choosing his present. If Justin is dedicating performances, he's telling the world what he values now. That may not be about Selena at all, but Selena could still feel the emotional weight of that truth. Because it's hard not to notice when someone you once had a spotlight story with is now glowing around a different partner. Again, that doesn't automatically mean anger or heartbreak. It could simply be a reality check. What it could mean for Selena strategically, how she might respond. Here's another layer people often miss. Celebrity moments aren't only emotional, they're also strategic. Selena Gomez has worked hard over time to protect her mental space and her narrative. When it comes to public speculation, the safest strategy is often not to feed the narrative. So what would it look like if Selena chose not to react? Silence can be a signal. If Selena doesn't address the dedication, fans may assume she's indifferent or evolved or focused. But silence can also be self-protection. Selena has her own career priorities, her own audience, and her own emotional boundaries. Public focus on her music and well-being. Selena has repeatedly been tied to themes like self-worth, growth, and healing. If she continues that trajectory, then a Justin dedication doesn't become her story. It becomes background noise, meaning the best response is staying in her lane. The biggest misconception that Selena is part of Justin's dedication. This is where fans can go too far. A dedication can be purely personal. It can be about gratitude toward Hailey and about an internal reference that has nothing to do with Selena. But because Selena and Justin share pop history, the fandom tries to force a connection. That's the misconception, assuming every meaningful moment must have a message aimed at the past. Celebrities are allowed to have present-day emotions without it being an indirect statement toward someone else. If Justin dedicated that performance to Hailey, that might be exactly what it was: love, appreciation, and commitment. And if Jack is symbolic or personal, it might be about something that exists only in Justin's own world. Selena doesn't automatically have to be included for the moment to be real. Why fans can't stop asking anyway? Even when the most logical answer is it's not about Selena, fans still ask because of one powerful thing: story. Pop culture treats celebrity relationships like ongoing TV series. If the series had seasons, then every new scene becomes an episode recap. So when Justin Bieber delivers something emotional and dedicated, fans feel like they're seeing a new episode of an old storyline. Selena Gomez becomes part of the plot, not because she did anything, but because the audience can't help connecting the characters. And honestly, that's the nature of how fame works. People don't just watch events, they watch meaning. So what does it mean for Selena Gomez in the end? Here's the simplest, most grounded answer. It likely means Justin is honoring his current life publicly. The dedication reads like someone celebrating love and personal inspiration. For Selena Gomez, that doesn't necessarily translate into anything new or threatening. It mainly translates into a reminder that life moves forward. For Selena, it could be a reminder that public narratives follow her too, a moment that fans will try to interpret for her, and a test of boundaries: how much she's willing to let other people's headlines decide her emotional reality. But the bigger truth is that Selena has already built a path that doesn't depend on someone else's music, someone else's dedication, or someone else's public gestures. If anything, the moment reinforces a key idea fans already know about Selena. She's trying to stay focused on her own happiness, her growth, and her future, not the emotional echoes of the past. Final takeaway: don't confuse speculation with destiny. Justin's dedication to Hailey and Jack is powerful because it's emotional and personal, but that doesn't automatically make it a message aimed at Selena Gomez. Selena doesn't have to be the missing piece to understand what's happening. What matters is this: The public will always try to turn celebrity moments into dramatic meaning. Selena's job, if she wants peace, is to keep choosing her own story. And if there's one reason people are bringing Selena into this conversation, it's because her name is attached to Justin's past. But her future doesn't have to be attached to it. If you want, tell me the tone you want for the article, more respectful and neutral, or more dramatic and tabloid style, and whether Jack refers to a real person in your story context, or if you want it treated as a mystery throughout.